Hi YouTubers, I'm glad you're all here. Thank you very much for joining me. Here's an update what's going on there in South Carolina with the earthquakes. Elgin, South Carolina. USGS is only reporting 3 earthquakes for the last week. Yeah, what a joke. The most recent, they're saying, was a 1.6. It was actually a magnitude 2.0, I believe. 11:15 a.m., 3.3 kilometers in depth, or 2 miles in depth. Here is the spectrogram for that earthquake and the seismic wave. I want to show you how I really shortened up. Oops, excuse me. I really shortened the seismic wave. I should have made it longer. And let me bring it down and I'll show you that, in fact, this came in as a magnitude 2.08, not a 1.6. And we'll go back to the spectrogram. Yeah, 2 miles in depth. All earthquakes are measured from sea level. I downloaded data from 2 different monitors there in South Carolina. One from BIRD, the other from JSC. And I'll show you all these earthquakes. And we'll bring it down. This is the most, that's the only one. You can see we got others marked in red. And most recently, let me pull this down. We got 2 here. I guess I'll start with this one right here. 1254, 1255. It actually looks like 2 earthquakes. Alright, 1255. Let me bring it over a little bit for this one here. For JSC. Let's see, 1255 and 30 seconds. The seismic signature looks like a slow-moving tremor. We got a peak there. Let me pull it over. Let me take that out a little bit. And let's go to the spectrogram. I'll pull it over a little bit more. We'll go to the spectrogram. Yeah, a slow-moving tremor caused by the movement of the plates. Go back to the signature. I'm going to divide it up as 2 earthquakes. This first one would come in as a magnitude 1.38. And that's between there. And the second one, I really shortened up the seismic signature. Comes in as a 1.60. Now the next one, that's got a long P wave. Oh, too small for you to see it. Okay, right there. Yeah, that's got a really long P wave on it. Let's look at its seismic signature. Yeah. Let's go back to the, yeah. I'm not going to even try with that one. That one, too, is a slow-moving tremor. Let's make it bigger so you can see that it's sharpened points at the top, which is tectonic in nature, meaning, yeah, pressure is building from the North American plate, the Atlantic plate, moving, yeah, we're getting slow-moving tremors. Alright, 21:43 Universal Time. This would have been late last night, local time. 5:23 local time. It's on both monitors, and it's also marked in red. This one comes in as a magnitude 1.89. And we'll go back to the spectrogram. Also, yesterday at 16:52 Universal Time, which would have been 12:52, almost 1 p.m. in the afternoon, there. And you can see we got 2 different monitors. And let's make this one bigger because that's the one I got, that I drew out, or actually plotted. It comes in as a magnitude 1.80. There's its spectrogram. Let's go back to the other monitor. There's the monitor for the other one. Alright, you're probably more interested in what's happened so far today, right? Oh, it's currently 11:47 local time. The bottom one here is BIRD. The top monitor is JSC. And this is all universal time here on the left. We'll bring it back another 4 hours. And so it's between 9 o'clock and 12 o'clock universal time. And this is what it's showing. And we'll go back another 4 hours. Yeah, see that? We got tectonic plate movement. A lot of little tiny, very small earthquakes here at Bird. Basically, for JSC, between 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Yeah, we got one small one right there. Let's go back to another 4 hours. And more tectonic plate movement. This is between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock universal. And we'll go back another 4 hours. Okay, so we got 1, 2 that shows up on both monitors. I think I just did that one. 21 close to 45. Did I do that one? 22, 23 maybe? Let's see. Okay, 21:43. Yeah, I believe I already did that one. And then we got this one right here at 22:20 in 15 seconds. There's its seismic signature. Let's go down because I want to see what we got going on today. Actually, okay, 7:51. That's probably some popping of the rock. Look at that. Yeah, that is a very odd signature. I'm going to make that one bigger. Alright, let's look at its seismic signature. I don't know if I can pull it up a little bit. Okay. Now this is JSC. And it's tectonic in nature. Yeah, really small. It comes in as a 0.55. I'll bring it down so you can see it. Teeny, tiny, tiny 0.55. If I shorten it more, it'd be like a 4.0. Okay, yeah, really small one. We got another little tiny one here. Yeah, that's tiny. Barely even shows. What else we got here? Now we got more popping of the rock right there at 10:36. That would have been at 6:36 a.m. today. Yeah, real shallow. Probably about 2 to 3 miles in depth. Let me go back to the seismic signature. And I'll shorten it up really small. This comes in as a magnitude 0.47. Got a lot of little ones where yesterday they were a little bit bigger. Could be the quiet before the storm. Okay. And yeah, we got some little tiny stuff here. More popping of the rock. That's caused by the pressure that's built up there. I keep telling you, you got it. Because they're all located within one area. Generally, stress would be transferred to different locations, but it's not moving. It's all staying right here. Now remember, on the 27th of this month, there in the town of Elgin, they're going to have what's called a virtual town meeting about the earthquakes. That will be, I believe, from 6 to 7 p.m. on the 27th. Alright, so here we have Google Earth. This is at 4.1. Back on the 9th of June, which actually these earthquakes started back in December of last year. They're not saying they're aftershocks. They're not saying they're foreshocks. The location of the 1.6, which was actually a 2.0, is right there. I haven't marked it out yet, have I? Normally, what happens is the tension, the popping of the earthquakes, would transfer that energy and cause earthquakes in other locations. Now, this red line drawn out, that is the Eastern Piedmont Fault Zone. They've all been very shallow, 2 miles in depth, 1.9 miles, 3.1 miles, 3.1 miles. I want to see what the deepest one is that they have. Close to 4.5 miles. It's interesting that they're so darn shallow. Yeah, there's the 4.1 that they changed to a 3.6. And okay, we got a 3.5. That was the 29th of last month. This one too was on the 29th of last month. And the 3.4, which is May of this year, May 26. Interesting that the first one that's listed here, the 3.4, has an intensity level of 5. Now that was 2.2 miles in depth. This one was shallower. The shallower the earthquake, the more people feel it. But they only gave it an intensity level of 5 and 6. Let me go back to this one here. Yeah, DY, did you feel it? Intensity level 6. Intensity level 6, but USGS gave it an intensity level of 5, and it was shallower. This one here, 3.6, that was shallow also. 1.7 miles in depth. People should have felt that one greatly because it was so shallow. Intensity level only 5. It should have been higher. And USGS does not post what people have felt. A lot of people are reporting hearing a loud boom prior to the earthquakes. People have reported light damage, things falling off the walls and counters, and some very small cracks maybe in plaster. Damage has been very light. So virtual town hall meeting must mean that they're not going to be open to the public. I don't know. It's going to be televised, more than likely. You can send in questions, and they're going to pick and choose which questions they're going to respond to. The fault system is probably very deep, so why they're so shallow is, I can't tell you. It's an interplate fault system, which they really don't know too much about. One, because, yeah, it's not along tectonic boundaries, and it's what they consider in the center of a plate, where earthquakes are very unusual. But being so shallow, yeah, it shows how there is tension built up, stress, and I keep emphasizing, yeah, you guys are going to have a larger one, and it will probably possibly rupture deeper. We just don't know. I don't know. The strongest earthquake they've had there in South Carolina was in 1886, I believe. And that was a 7.6. Let me bring this out. And that was down by the city of Charleston. Supposedly, the city of Charleston in that area has 70% of all the earthquakes there in South Carolina. Yeah, so now it is changed up to Elgin. Yeah, so they really don't know what's going on. It'll be interesting at their virtual town meeting on the 27th what they say. Yeah. So if you have any thoughts or comments or questions, please put it down below. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please stay safe. Always be prepared for any type of disaster. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you.